Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris from Smithy Fitness, and today I'm going to go through part 2 of the conclusion of my 90-day Farmer's Carry Challenge, where I carried heavy weights, long distances every day for 90 days in a row, actually for a little bit more than 90 days in a row, and man, I've had outstanding results. So let's have a look. So I started the program and I weighed about 165 pounds. I was actually 164.5. And at day 90, I weighed 155 pounds. So I lost 9.5 pounds. My body fat went from 14.3% all the way down to 8.2%. So that's pretty crazy. But when I did the math, when I took the body fat measurements at the beginning and the body fat at the end, what I've realized was that I actually lost 10.5 pounds of fat and gained 1 pound of muscle. So man, that is the golden double. If you can gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, bodybuilders have been trying to do that forever, as have all the fitness programs, and it's really tough to do. So I was able to do it, and I think I know why. If I go back and kind of summarize the work that I've done, I figure I walked about 250 kilometers in total. So 2.5, 3 kilometers a day on average. The average weight that I carried was about 80 pounds. So I walked 250 kilometers carrying on average 80 pounds. And that is somewhere around 50 to 55 hours of time under tension. And I think that's the key. The time under tension, the amount of time that your muscles are working, the amount of time that I was in the pain zone when it wasn't comfortable, when it was hurting, but I can do another 100 steps before I put them down, that allows the body or forces the body to gain muscle. So crazy good results. Just a few of the highlights. My waist went from 35.25 inches down to 33. So that's pretty good. Now you got to remember, a man carries, and especially an older man, carries their excess weight through the middle. For women, they tend to put it on their butts and their thighs, but for men, it is definitely around the tummy. So I still lost 2.5 inches there. My chest grew a little bit from 39.5 to 40 inches. Not bad, but the most amazing thing was that my biceps and my forearms and my neck all grew, and grew fairly significantly. My forearms put on about 3/4 of an inch, both of them, from 11.25 to 12 inches. And my bicep, from day one, they grew only 1/4 of an inch, from say 13.75 inch to 14. But at the midpoint, the 45-day mark, the biceps had gone down to 13.5, and I think that's as the fat, any fat that I had there was lost, and then it was just a pure gain, because the last 45 or 50 days of the challenge, man, I ramped it up. I had some long carries, long heavy carries, and absolutely grew some muscle. So the golden double, it's spectacular. So yeah, chest got bigger, my waist went down, my bicep, forearms, and neck all grew. Just a really happy circumstance. So on top of that, I want to talk about some of the benefits of doing such a program, and some of the costs as well. So the benefit, obviously, is to lose the fat. That's number one, and that's the best thing you'll get out of the program. Number two is that you gain some muscle. Also one of the best things of the program. Number three, you're out in the sun. I mean, it's been a beautiful summer here in Toronto, and I think for most of of Canada and the US, we've had great weather. So that was a huge plus. I came into this challenge with some injuries, and all the injuries healed. So I had a bad back, my elbow hurt when I did pull-ups, my elbow would hurt, my knee was a bit sore. So by just doing the carries, it's not very dynamic. I'm simply walking and keeping my core tight and being able to put some miles on. So there was really it was really a great time to heal. So I had that, being in the sun, getting the vitamin D, and really allowing yourself to get a nice deep tan. That was a great feeling, both mentally and physically. Undoubtedly, my D levels went up throughout my body. And the D is actually a hormone, a precursor to having higher T and higher HGH. So the sun is fantastic. And I spent more time in the sun this year than maybe I have in the last, I don't know, let's say 20. So that was great. I met a lot of people on my walks. It's an odd thing to see somebody, especially an older guy, walking through your neighborhood carrying 2 round balls, and many people, round balls being the kettlebells, many people would talk to me about it. Kids wanted to pick them up, old people wanted to pick them up. There was a lot of that going on. On top of that, to make it more interesting for myself, I drove to different parts of my town, of my city here in Toronto, and walked parks that I haven't walked. I walked neighborhoods that I didn't know, and really I explored. In fact, a couple of times I got lost. So I was out, I took so many left and right turns, I wasn't sure where I left my car, and it forced me to walk further, which maybe you don't want to do when you're fatigued, but I did it anyway. So those are some great benefits. The costs, the tough things about it is time. I spent, especially the last 45 or 50 days, by the time I left the car to the time I came back to the house was usually at least 2 hours. So the first 45 days my workouts were shorter, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, but the time did accumulate. So to do the program, everybody can do it, but you've really got to plan your time. Either you've got to get up early or you have to sacrifice something in your life. And maybe that's TV or Twitter or YouTube, who knows, to make it happen. The good thing about the farmer's carry, so I guess another benefit, is there's no warm-up. I would simply drive, get out of the car, bend down, pick them up and go. Whereas if you're playing squash or tennis, or if you're lifting weights, you know, you're stretching and maybe you're on the bike to get your body a little bit warmed up. So we don't have that with the farmer's carry. So time is the main thing. The grind, the pain zone. I spend a lot of time in the grind. I mean, it's very unspectacular thing I'm doing out there. It's really about time and just having the mindset to carry on, to do it. I was almost always on my own. Once a week I would do the filming, which was great. But otherwise, I was on my own, just through some serious heat, some real big heat, sweating, no water because my hands are filled carrying the kettlebells. And I also carried in rain 2 or 3 or 4 times. One day it was pouring. I was walking up and down a steep hill. I had done 8 rounds. I wanted to do 10, and I got soaked. But you know, it's part of the fun, and it is fun, especially when it's finished. So I'd encourage you to give it a try. The last thing I want to leave with you is the importance of building, and if not building, at least holding on to your muscle. The one thing that really separates the youth from an old person is their ability to do things like jump off a desk, or do some pull-ups, or jump and swing and swim and be active. And the ability to hold onto your muscle late into old age is about, I can't think of anything more important. So do some exercise. The farmer's carries are great, especially if you got aches and pains. Just start with something super light, gradually add to it, and you will be well rewarded. Consistency is your best friend. Momentum is your best friend, and see if you can go for a walk with your best friend and put it all together, and you'll be a winner. So thanks so much for watching this series. It's been great for me. You've kept me honest because there were times I didn't want to do it, but I had to because I had this channel. It's been just so much fun. I am doing another challenge. I'm hoping to break some Canadian records with the next one, and I'll talk to you about that in my next video, which will come out in 3, 4, 5, 6 days. All right, so thanks for watching. The 90-day Farmer's Carry Challenge is over. It was a massive success. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.